Welcome back to the Every Single Oasis Single series on the Girls Like Rock 2 podcast. My name is Sarah. This is my sister Katie.
Hello.
This year we are going through all Oasis singles in chronological order. We are now into Heathen Chemistry, the third single from Heathen Chemistry. Katie, what single are we talking about today?
Sarah, today we're talking about the little gem known as Little by Little.
Little by Little. That is a little gem.
It is a little gem. Yeah, no pun intended.
No, not at all. Are you ready for some little by little tidbits, Katie?
Let's bust into these tidbits, Sarah.
Let's do it. Little by Little, released September 19th, 2002.
Just 2 days shy of Liam G's birthday.
Happy birthday, LG, fellow Virgo. Loving it. This will be the third single from Heathen Chemistry. That was released July 2002, which would be maybe a couple of months after the release of the album. This is the first and only double A side from Oasis. We said Little by Little. Technically, it's Little by Little and She Is Love.
Yeah.
Which is super interesting.
Yeah, bit different.
Yeah, it is. As we all know, Little by Little is number 6 on Heathen Chemistry, coming right after Songbird. She Is Love is number 9, after Probably All in the Mind. I like where they both sit on this album. I think it's a good flow. I'm quite vocal. I love Heathen Chemistry. For this episode, I do focus a bit more on Little by Little. I think that's the heavy hitter out of these two songs.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. There's more about Little by Little. People are still loving Oasis, Katie. This debuted at number 2 on the UK singles chart.
Okay.
So not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
Number 1, if you're out there listening from the UK, was Long and Winding Road, Suspicious by Will Young and Gareth Gates.
I've never even heard of those people.
No, they're the final 2 singers in the first ever season of Pop Idol. Remember when that got huge in the early 2000s?
Yeah, we had American Idol here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming Long and Winding Road is a Beatles cover. I didn't listen to them. Number 3, so we have that at number 1. Little by Little Oasis, number 2. Number 3, have to give a shout out to our Canadian girl, Avril Lavigne. Complicated.
Oh, wow.
It's number 3. So I guess she did really well there.
She did well everywhere, Avril.
She did. That song.
Yeah, we could do an episode
huge.
just on Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, we really could. I've mentioned this before with Heathen Chemistry. It actually did quite well here in Canada.
Yeah.
Little by Little went to number 2 on the Canadian singles charts by itself as Little by Little. Hindu Times was number 1. Stop Crying Your Heart Out were number 5. So they didn't do too bad.
They were still doing well.
Yeah, I do remember this song.
Yep, me too.
I was curious because in Italy is the one country where the Hindu Times and Stop Crying Your Heart Out went to number 1. So I'm like, where did this go? In Italy? Number 5.
Okay.
So not bad, but maybe they were like, we had our
Oasis fix. We're good.
We're good. Big thing about Little by Little, I didn't know this, that Liam was originally meant to sing Little by Little.
I feel like I did come across that.
Yeah.
That tidbit.
It's a big tidbit. Noel did an interview with Q magazine in the summer of 2002, and the Q magazine asked, "What makes you decide to keep a song for yourself to sing?" Noel replies, "Liam." The reason Liam didn't sing Little by Little was that he had to go, and if Liam can't give it 110% and then some, he just goes, "I'm not going to do it." I wanted him to sing it because I wanted that to be the first single. And he was going, "That's one of the best vocals you've ever sang. Why do you want me to sing it?" And I was like, "You're the singer." And he said, "I'm not going to get it any better."
Wow. It's funny. I can't picture Liam singing that song.
I know. Well, I was thinking of this, and maybe there are interviews out there with Noel and Liam. What is the process when Noel writes a song? I know he just said it's Liam for him to sing something, but are there songs when he was writing Oasis songs that he was picturing himself singing?
Yeah.
And if he did, what ones are there? Because I know for Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger, Liam kind of had his choice, like,
I remember
I'll
us
take
discussing
that.
Yeah.
So I'd be so curious to hear of what the process is with Noel writing a song, writing the lyrics, thinking about Liam and or himself, and then Liam does he take every song, takes a look at it, sings it by himself, and is like, you know what, I'm just not feeling it. It would just be interesting because Liam said, like, oh, you sang this really well, so do they both sing some songs and they
Probably
see which
test
one
it
is
out.
better? Yeah.
And little by
That would
little,
be-
that's got a little bit of effort to sing that.
It does. It does. Definitely. Apparently, Noel wrote this on his 98 trip to Thailand.
Oh,
And
cool.
this is also where he wrote Who Feels Love and Idler's Dream.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, he went on quite, I think, a reflective journey.
Oh, definitely.
On that trip?
His sobriety journey.
Yeah. And these amazing songs that he wrote on this. It's just so incredible. The Enemy review. This review came up from John Robinson in 2005. It's not much. And I don't know if this is like from the time. I don't know. Enemy had it at 2005. But he starts it off with, I just thought this was so funny. Sometimes you've got to Noel with it.
Instead of
I just LOL'd because I'm like, that is classic.
yeah, I never thought of that.
Yeah, isn't
That's
it?
a first for me. But sometimes you've got to roll
Sometimes
with
you
it.
do just have to Noel
Man,
with
that
it.
could be like a T-shirt.
I know.
Roll with it.
And so he just continues. And this would seem to be one of those times. This is a double dose of the senior Gallagher and testimony to the fact that when you run the company, you can do whatever you want, even if the customer sometimes suffers. I know.
I think it's a great track.
Poor Oasis, they just can't catch a break with Enemy.
No.
If you've tuned into this series before, you know that Katie and I go through the Rolling Stone top 40 songs that they released to celebrate Oasis's reunion back in 2024. Top 40 songs they rank, top 40 Oasis songs, which they rank. Little by Little did make it on there. Number 15.
Oh, wow. High. They liked
Really
it.
high. Because they did the Hindu Times as number 24. Stop Crying Your Heart Out, number 33.
Wow.
Like 15. If I were to rank my top 40 Oasis songs, I don't think I would put Little by Little at number 15.
Probably not number 15.
Would it be included in your top 40?
Oh my goodness. I don't know.
yeah.
That's a
I know.
yeah.
Yeah, you just
I would
can't-
have to get back to you on that one.
Yeah, you can't just answer that on
Yeah,
the fly. I
no.
understand. She Is Love did not make it on the list.
No.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
it
Fell flat.
Yeah.
No, I like this one. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah. According to a Reddit thread, Little by Little is a polarizing Oasis song. Some fans love it and some fans don't. They think it's too general and mundane. I wouldn't say I love Little by Little, but I wouldn't put it in mundane category.
No.
I mean, maybe I'm just biased with my rosy colored Oasis glasses on, but I don't think it's mundane.
I like Little by Little. It's
Yeah.
grown on me over the years.
And I will get into that. It has really grown on me in my older age. So She Is Love was written for Noel's, at the time, I think girlfriend, now ex-wife, Sarah McDonald. I like She Is Love. I did like it when it came out. I would have been in high school when Heathen Chemistry came out. I did like it. I'm going to go as far to say I don't think it's one of Noel's strongest acoustic songs. But it just made me think, because this is written by a woman that he's no longer with now, and they probably went through some rough times to now be divorced. And we've talked about this before, like, that must be so hard for an artist where they write this song at a certain point in their life and it becomes huge, and you're like, now I have to play this song all the time because it's the big song from myself, my band. And you have like a new relationship with that song. Like, I doubt Noel would play She Is Love now.
Yeah. No, probably not.
Right? Having said that, you do grow and maybe songs grow with you as an artist. So maybe it would take on a new meaning for himself and he
Yeah.
would. But that is just, it just made me think of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of artists where you're like, I have to play this song because it was the big one. I don't really want to. I've moved on from that point in my life.
Well, we've talked about this before, Sarah, how with certain set lists, with certain artists, they don't play a song. And we've speculated that it could just be too traumatic,
Yeah,
too triggering.
Too triggering, too emotional.
Yep.
Gosh. So that would be hard. This is the only post Be Here Now song that was included on the set list for their 2025 reunion tour,
Yeah.
which boggles my mind a bit. I'm not going to lie. I would be super curious, and maybe he'll mention this in the documentary.
Why Little by Little?
Why Little by Little?
I would have thought Stop Crying Your Heart Out, if anything.
Yes, out of everything post Be Here Now, I would have said Stop Crying Your Heart
Yeah.
Out. Yeah, I would have even thought Go Let It Out or The Hindu Times before
Go
Little
Let
by
It
Little.
Out. That's true. That too would have been really good.
Yeah.
I really liked listening to it though at the show, Little by Little.
Yeah, exactly. I've always liked Little by Little. It's not one of my top 10 or one of my like Oasis go-tos necessarily. But maybe I making a bold statement here, speaking for all Oasis fans, because it was added into the set list, kind of a new rekindled relationship with Little by Little.
Oh, definitely.
Because
I think
it
that
was
happened to a lot of
on-
fans with a lot of songs.
Yeah.
I mentioned Fade Away. Never thought about Fade Away much before.
Oh, yeah.
And then watching it live just had this I don't even know how to describe it. Just a new way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's a really good
And little by
point.
little, I think for a lot of fans, myself included, same thing. Seeing it live. Oh my goodness, what, more than 20 years after it was first released.
It just felt like
All
such a
the fans
random
singing
one.
it together.
Yep. There's someone that commented that maybe the set list is like a story. They're
Yes,
kind of-
I really enjoyed reading that comment.
I was like, that is such an interesting
Yeah.
interpretation, which I just wanted to mention. And if this person is listening, thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that. I was like, I didn't think about that. But then I'm like, it kind of makes sense. And
Yeah.
then Noel does Talk Tonight, Half the World Away. Then he goes into Little by Little.
Yeah.
I will say Little by Little is very like how it works in like a what's it called, like a huge stadium, because
Yeah.
how he all of a sudden goes like little by little.
Yeah.
Because apparently he did play this a fair bit with High Flying Birds.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah,
so it must be a favorite for him.
maybe for him, and maybe this goes back to his epiphanies that he had on that
Trip to Thailand.
Yep.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
it just has, and this goes back to what I just mentioned. Like he has a personal fond attachment to this song in his
Yep.
life, right? So yeah, just thinking about it in a new, fresh
Yeah.
way, right? And with the set list. So thank you, Noel, for adding it, because
Yeah.
it kind of just reignited something in me to listen to it more and really get into it.
It's a great song to belt out to in the car too.
Yeah, when you're all alone.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, definitely. Definitely. And Noel's thinking, that's why I added it to the set list.
Yeah.
Not much to say about the track list. Usually Katie and I will go into the B-sides. I think this might be the only single we talk about that does not include a B-side written by a member of Oasis,
Yeah.
right? Because it's a cover of The Who's My Generation.
Yeah.
The
People love covering My Generation.
I,
Green Day did too back in the
Oh,
day.
did they?
Way back, like on Kerplunk.
I did get into The Who a bit back in the day when I got into all those like more classic bands. They're good. I understand their longevity. But My Generation isn't personally one of my faves from them. I don't know. Like Pinball Wizard sticks out for me more, like Who Are You? But I get it. I get why My Generation is their big one. I mean, it does, I don't know, reflect the time of when it was made and that excitement of like the 60s,
Yeah.
like just with the I don't know, baby boomer revolution, and especially the music coming out of especially the UK.
Yeah.
So I get it, but yeah, it's not one of my faves from the classic songs. This was recorded live at BBC in January 2004, Radio 1's evening session. I would imagine that a band comes in and does an evening session, I would think. But I thought this was interesting. So there was a poll where listeners could choose which cover Oasis were going to do. And there were a couple of choices. Sympathy for the Devil.
Oh.
Yeah. Ace of Spades by Motorhead. Oh. I was like, which one's that again? Then I listened to it. I'm like, oh, yes, I know this song. Come As You Are.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah. Country House and Angels. Those were the ones. Out of those, Katie, which one would you want Oasis to hear?
I would say Come As You Are, just because I'm a big Nirvana fan, and I've never seen Oasis play a grunge song that I could think of. However, I have always been a fan of Sympathy for the Devil. There's just something about that song I like.
That's a really good song. Yeah. I would go with
And
Sympathy.
Liam would do a really good job of singing that.
Yeah, actually, Liam would sound stellar in Sympathy for the
and
Devil.
I could just, the Liam Gallagher swagger, I think would go really well with that song.
Yeah, he would sing that really well. I know. I would be super curious to hear them sing "Come As You Are."
Yeah.
That would be cool. I just thought that was interesting. Liam did cover this, My Generation, years later to celebrate TFI Friday in June 2015 with, get this, so he performs it with Bonehead, comes back.
Oh.
Ian Brody from Lightning Seeds. Remember the Lightning Seeds?
Oh, the Lightning Seeds.
If you're listening in from the UK, like, are the Lightning Seeds considered, I don't know, dorky? Like,
I don't know. During FIFA, during World Cup, they played
they
Three
had that
Lions a lot.
Lions, yeah. I loved the Lightning Seeds.
You did.
Oh
Jollification.
my gosh, yes, Jollification. Dizzy Heights. Whew.
That was a really good album.
I think it's a great album.
We were introducing them from Clueless. Change was on the Clueless soundtrack.
Change, because Change was on Dizzy Heights, I believe. Oh man, that's a good album. I have to listen to that again.
Yeah.
I'll stand by Tilt too. And also Zach Starkey on the drums.
Oh, what's his name? Son.
Yeah.
I just called one of the Beatles what's his name, but Ringo Starr, yeah.
I was just like, oh, that's quite the lineup. It just occurred to me I should check that out on YouTube and see if it's anywhere. Music video. Did you watch it?
I did. So I do remember parts of the video. It was played, well, you mentioned it made pretty high in the charts in Canada.
It did.
So
yeah.
I believe it was probably much more music. So Sarah and I have talked about how there was much music, which was like MTV.
In
then
Canada.
there was much more music, which was like the older crowd, the more gentle crowd.
Older.
And I think Little by Little was played a much more music.
I could totally see this video on much more music.
Yeah. So
sorry, Oasis, you can't be on Sexy Much Music anymore.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're going to put you on much more music, which still had its moments. You know,
It did have its moment.
It had some great VJs on much more music too.
Oh yeah,
Tracy Melcher,
yes,
like shout out to her.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, you're not as relevant. But
Jeez.
there are some elements of this video that are really good, and others you're like, come on, the little guy.
So that's Robert Carlyle, who's an actor.
Yeah, he looked familiar.
Yeah, he was in Train Spotting. And do you know The Full Monty? Did you watch that?
I know. I've never watched it.
Okay,
But I'm aware.
You're aware of what it's
Yeah.
about. So I watched it, and he's in that. He's
Wahlberg? Mark Wahlberg? Isn't he in that too?
The Full Monty is the British movie of the male stripper.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg was in one of them.
Was he?
Yeah, I think there was like an American version. Mark Wahlberg was in it.
This is the British version
Okay.
he's in.
Okay.
I don't know if this Robert Carlyle is also in the American version, but
Probably not, but
sorry, I just can't picture Mark Wahlberg in this movie that I watched. I was going to say, I think this is the first time Oasis have a well-known person in their video, right?
yeah,
Before
because
that, it's-
in we haven't discussed it yet. The importance of being idle. They also had a
Yes, he's from Notting Hill. We'll get to him in a later episode.
I think the video was great if they just didn't have him little and then big in the forest.
I forgot forgot that he walks out and he gets
Like,
bigger and bigger into the forest.
Why?
Well, I think it's because it's like a self-reflective journey of getting better little by little.
I know,
so
but
because he slowly gets
instead
bigger.
of having him small, just have him walking through the crowd, people not paying attention, hitting
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
and then he falls. Liam can still pick him up because
Yeah.
that was fine.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was cool how the city drifts into the forest.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, why did you have to have him like Jolly Green Giant?
I know.
Like,
I was
he
like,
shakes the tree. I'm like,
he gets. I guess becomes more confident in himself, so he's feeling like
Yeah.
he's getting bigger. I agree. And then he's so tiny. Just make him
Yeah.
regular size and bump into everybody.
The little and the big thing didn't really need to
Yeah.
happen because the band looks great.
The band looks great. Yes.
Noel's fur-lined parka.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Cool.
I wanted to take a moment to highlight Noel's parka and Liam's jacket.
The white jacket.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. Like he's just standing there. I'm like, classic.
Alan White looked great in it too in that video.
They all look really good. Gem or Andy, one bends down to tie his shoe, right? That's one of them. I agree. I think he should be regular sized and just bump into all the members of Oasis. Liam picks him up and walks out into the forest.
Yeah.
I don't know what the reasoning was behind growing and into a giant.
Yeah. It was just dorky. I thought, dare I say.
Dare you say.
It'd be interesting because I do believe there's a lot of commentary where Noel would watch the videos of Oasis and do his commentary on it. I'd be interested to see what he has to say about Little by Little.
Oh, I should have
He
watched
rips
that.
apart all around the world.
Does he?
Oh yeah, it's funny though
He's hilarious in that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's a really good. I should have done that.
because they probably don't even. Some of it was so long ago. They probably don't even remember
and I
filming some of these.
I mean, Katie and I are just talking as fans. Like, we were never in any of this environment. Like, how much of a say do Oasis get? Or do they just show up and the director is like, okay, we're going to do this and this and this. And Noel, you sit there. Liam, you stand there.
Yeah.
Like, is it like that? Or do they, like, who thought of this, right?
Yeah.
Well, and we go back to this classic Liam sitting on a chair on the wall for Live Forever.
Oh, the
Like,
Live Forever video.
What was that about?
And then the shovels.
Like, was
and the
that their
pits.
idea?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So Little by Little it's one of these Oasis songs that hits harder as you get older.
Yep. As
Right.
many of them do.
As many of them do, right? And this is especially one. And as I mentioned, I think hits us differently as Oasis fans because it was included in the set list. So what was all that about? And I love the line, true perfection has to be imperfect.
Yeah.
I just love that because it's like getting more mature and realizing you'll never hit perfection, but would you want to even?
Yeah.
Right?
And
Like,
what even is true perfection?
what is true perfection?
Yeah.
Exactly. And the classic life is a journey.
Yeah.
Like you think when you're younger, oh, when I hit this point, oh, that's it. Oh, when I hit this point,
Oh, we always think that.
right? When I get that job or once I get married.
Once I get that new car.
Yeah. But it's not because you just keep going.
I
and
know. I always make
It's
to-do lists and I'm like, once I get that to-do list done,
yes.
I'll relax and I can
Yes.
just live my life. And then it's like, well, no. Then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, no, now I got to do this
Yeah.
and that.
But that is living your life.
Yeah.
So you always think, oh, I'm going to wait to live my life until that's done. That's done.
Yeah.
But you are living it. And I guess that's life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. Like just taking that moment. And maybe that's a part of that video where he gets bigger and bigger. Like, yeah, making sure
I just thought of a big giant.
yes.
you know?
No, I know. And then I'm like, is this guy just getting bigger and bigger? Like,
Then he gets taller than the tree and like. But I do, I appreciate
like,
the song,
yeah.
little by little, and it's just a nice. Little by little, you'll get through it.
little by little, you'll get through it.
Yeah.
I just, what's that necklace we have? what does it
Slowly
say?
but surely.
Slowly but surely. It made me think of that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, little by little, you'll just get through it with yourself in life. And that just really hit me in my later age.
Yeah, I think that's probably a reason Noel picked it for the set list.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so crazy to think of like Noel Gallagher being in his mid-20s when Oasis became Oasis and now probably almost 60. just that life journey he's had and singing these songs again, that must have hit him hard.
Probably. I'm sure the first show must have been really emotional for all of them.
Smokes. Yeah. Yeah. Just like so much. And as you get older, you get wiser, you get more mature, you go through shit, right? And like we said, little by little, just living your life.
I know.
I don't know.
Our mother used to always say, youth is wasted on the young. And I never knew what she meant. And now I get it.
Yeah, you do get it as you get a bit older.
Yeah.
And think when we're like in our 70s, God willing, thinking that, right? Like it's just the journey. And it's just been so interesting listening to all of these songs again, being older because we were so young when these first came out.
Even little by little, I was only, what did you say, 2003?
Yeah, too.
So I would have only been 14.
Yeah. So you're not contemplating life at 14 or 15. Hopefully you're not. I guess it depends on what you've been through. But even like thinking Noel wrote this, he was only like in his early 30s.
Yeah.
Kind of wise.
Noel is wise though.
Yeah. To like, when you really think of these songs, it's quite like we joke, oh, he's an old grumpy man. But little by little, when you really read the lyrics, there is a lot of wisdom there.
Yeah.
Especially thinking this person writing it is only in his early 30s.
Yeah.
And everything he been through in his personal life and with, of course, his professional life with Oasis. Just really got me thinking about that.
Yeah.
Like this song it's deep, I think.
Yeah. And I really like that. Little by little, you'll get through it.
Little by little.
Yeah.
That's what we can do. Little by little, Katie and I are getting through this every single Oasis single journey.
Yeah, that's true. True perfection has to be imperfect.
Perfect. So let's see how we feel once we hit falling down.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. Katie and I really appreciate your time. Please let us know what's your relationship with Little by Little. What were your thoughts? It's the only post Be Here Now song in their set list. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Did they choose well? What would you have liked to have heard instead? Or would you have kept it with Little by Little? Stay tuned. We have a lot more great singles coming up. Kate and I post a full new episode every other Friday. And thanks again for listening. We will see you in the next one.
Bye for now.